Get ready for dictation, please. 5 seconds. Start. I am thankful to you, sir, for giving me a chance to speak in this debate. I am glad today the Prime Minister opened his speech with a reference to our relations with Pakistan. I would like to draw the attention of the House to what has been happening in the border area. I cannot attach much importance, nor do I expect any good result from the proposed conference between the two prime ministers. In the last 11 years, we have had a number of such meetings and conferences. What the Prime Minister has read out today from the letters of the Prime Minister of Pakistan and his subsequent statements will clearly prove that the Pakistan Prime Minister is hardly serious about the meeting and he does not know his own mind. But the fact remains that the position in the borders of Tripura and Assam and also in some areas of West Bengal adjoining the Pakistan border should receive the attention of this House and government. Papers this side may not publish all the details, but we in Bengal and in the eastern part of India get more detailed news about what has been happening. I can make some allowance for possible exaggeration in some reports in newspapers, but in spite of everything, there is no denying the fact that large numbers of people have been leaving their hearths and homes from those villages and are now more or less homeless refugees in a most deplorable condition. I think it is the duty of this government to see that the border people are given proper protection, whatever may happen in the ultimate relations between India and Pakistan. As I have stated, I do not attach much importance to the conference the two prime ministers will have, nor do I expect much result to come out of that. At the same time, it is an obligation of the government to give necessary protection to the people on the borders who have been suffering for the last few months. It is a sort of Cold War going on, and if the government have not been suffering so much, the people on the border areas have been suffering terribly, and I expect the Prime Minister to give due attention to this matter and see that the people on our side, who are our citizens, should not be made to suffer because of some desperate actions of Pakistan due to some political or other motives. I would like to draw attention of government and the House to another matter. After the integration of Cooch Behar, there has been a number of small pockets. They have been called enclaves, some of which are surrounded by Indian territory but belong to Pakistan, and some surrounded by Pakistan territory but belong to India. Something has to be done about these pockets. It is nearly 7-8 years that they have been lying in this position. There has been no administration in those pockets, and the people there are living in a very alarming condition. There have been all sorts of crimes, murders, dacoities, etc. No administration is working in those pockets. In our pockets surrounded by Pakistan territory, it is not possible for our government to have any real administration in those areas, nor is it possible for the Pakistan government to provide proper administration in their pockets surrounded by our territory. So people on both sides have been suffering in these pockets. Then, sir, there has been a proposal of the summit conference. I do not know why America was fighting shy about this conference. I think my friend said that if India was to be invited to the summit conference, there was likely to be some complication and trouble that might have come from Pakistan. Pakistan, in fact, protested. Are we to think that the summit conference was abandoned practically to avoid giving any recognition to India as a big power, as a moral force? We cannot claim to be a big power from the military point of view. We have no military strength, no financial backing, no industrial setup of a big military power. But we have got a moral prestige, and that prestige was recognized at least in some quarters. We have been recognized as friends of all the weak nations who have been fighting for independence and liberation, and that is a moral asset. Lastly, I should say that our foreign policy has been more or less a success. There may be difference of opinion in minor details. The foreign policy of India, we can say, is not a party policy, it is the national policy. That is the general attitude of all the democratic countries' foreign policy is not ideology, but it is formulated on the basis of national interest. Our foreign policy has also been formulated on the national basis, not on the basis of any party ideology.